Hello and welcome to another Book Talk with Tracy. I'm actually in my church right now. I'm doing some things here in preparation for Easter and a Passover dinner that we're going to be doing as a church. And it seemed like a good time to talk about a couple of books that were very influential for me, especially as I was writing my Divine Appointments devotional series, which of course, talks a lot about keeping God's appointed times and following a Jewish calendar and the feasts, etc. So, in fact, I did quite a bit of reading and research and things as I was discovering for me, which was exciting and new, this whole concept that as a Christian, I had actually been grafted into the bigger tree in God's chosen people, which of course are the Jews. And so one of the books that I read, which was very influential and I loved, is this book that's actually called Grafted In by Julio Gabelli. And his book very systematically lays out that foundation of how, starting of course in Romans chapter 11, where it talks about the us being grafted into that root, and how as a Christian, in fact, we are partakers in that rich heritage, that an inheritance that mostly people think are Jewish festivals and things. So I really love this book, and it lays all of that out very systematically and very thoroughly with lots of supporting scripture. It's Grafted In by Julio Gabelli. And then it also has wonderful chapters on each of the feasts and giving you a little bit more in-depth look at each of those special occurrences. Another book that I was blown away by, which I found revolutionary, was this one called The Messianic Church Arising by Robert Heidler. It says, Restoring the Church to Our Covenant Roots. Again, very much along that same line of how as people that are grafted in, of course there's lots of scripture as well, but talking how, historically we lost that the early church was in fact very Jewish, even Gentiles. Wasn't they were keeping traditions because that was going to save them, because clearly Paul and Peter and other apostles, said that's not the case. You don't have to do those things because, of course, salvation only comes through Jesus. But that it's still part of your heritage and part of your right, I guess, as a Christian, being grafted in to enjoy those things. So in my series, that's what I was trying to do. I was very enthusiastic and just excited about this concept. Of course, I did read other books as well and did lots of research. But I had these two on my shelf, and these are ones that, often I'll buy a book on ebook or whatever, but I needed these ones as paper copies so that I could, highlight and mark them up and things like that. So I highly recommend, if you are interested in that topic at all, I highly recommend these two books. This one, The Messianic Church Arising, and Grafted In. Of course, there are many other great resources. But it just seemed like a really good thing today to talk about those, since we're talking about books. And these are ones that I've read several times and like I said, marked up and things. So I highly recommend them. And I do hope that if you are watching this segment, and it is nearing Easter or just past Easter, that you will have a really blessed season, because it is such a special time for Christians. I just encourage you to go to my website, check out all of my books, including my devotional series, Divine Appointments, but also my fiction, my plays, any of those other things. So until next time, see you then. Bye-bye.